These matters with the seriousness it deserves. Because otherwise, if we don't do something urgently and drastically, this term of parliament may go down in history as a term that witnessed the highest number of mega scandals in this country, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, with those very few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I rise to support this appropriations bill. Honorable Speaker, I will restrain myself from speaking to the gallery and answering to the many things that the leader of minority has spoken to, because it is within his right as a leader of minority to play to the gallery and raise issues that may not necessarily be in this appropriations bill. But Honorable Speaker, allow me, because one of the things I've heard being mentioned is the question of monies being allocated in this appropriations bill.
Yes, what's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, is it in order for the majority leader to term the discussions and the opinions of the minority leader as playing to the gallery? Is that in order?
The minority leader himself is not protesting. Go on.
Honorable Speaker, it's good to indulge that honorable member. He was simply seeking for attention, but I have the minority leader's attention. I don't need his attention. Honorable Speaker, I was saying, speaking to the question of pending bills, Honorable Speaker, in this appropriations bill, Honorable Speaker, because it is simply buttressing what we did during Committee of Supply, and we were all here during Committee of Supply, and I must thank all the members who stayed on here until about 10 p.m. to supply resources to our MDAs. And Honorable Speaker, unlike what is being said, it is true that in this appropriations bill and what we supplied to our MDAs, for instance, the largest pending bills are in the road sector. And indeed, all these members in this House, Honorable Speaker, will tell you, in each of our constituencies, we have either a road that was to start that is yet to start, or a road that had started but stalled because of pending bills, Honorable Speaker. And the quantum of those pending bills, if members care to listen to the chairman of the Budget and Appropriations Committee, was a quantum of close to 1 trillion shillings. That means half of the resources we will generate in terms of ordinary revenue could only go towards settlement of pending bills in the road sector, Honorable Speaker. But amidst all the constraints that we have with our resources, Honorable Speaker, the Budget and Appropriations Committee and indeed the House last week in supplied a quantum of 250 billion shillings to the road sector to help start dealing with the question of pending bills in the road sector. And indeed, Honorable Speaker, you will see with time, as at when exchequer releases begin, hopefully after the month of July, Honorable Speaker, if we agree with the chair of the Finance Committee and finish with the finance bill third reading today or in the course of the day tomorrow, Honorable Speaker, and we are able to generate adequate revenues to be able to unlock the question that the leader of minority rightly says, that we have a huge problem of pending bills. That 250 billion shillings to the road sector is not enough. Even after rationalizing all those roads projects that have been committed to, the figure came to about 730 billion. Therefore, it tells you, even if we were to allocate resources, not to deal with new projects, and I just want to inform the House and the leader of minority, that we are not dealing with new road projects, we are dealing with those already committed road projects. And it will take ordinarily, either we commit the entire of our development expenditure to the road sector without having to deal with anything else, or we do what the Budget and Appropriations Committee recommended, that we allocate 250 billion shillings this year. If we perform better in terms of revenue allocation, next year we can do another 300 to 400 billion shillings, and with time, by the third year of this administration, we should be able to have cleared all those pending bills and contracts that have already been committed to, and be able to begin to embark on new projects. Therefore, allow me to just inform the Leader of Minority that indeed there are no new road projects. We are committed to completing those that were committed contractually before the last regime. If you look at the education sector, Honorable Speaker, and members will remember when we begin this session in January, our children had just opened school, and there was a crisis on CBC, the junior secondary schools, capitation of junior secondary schools, capitation of those in CBC classes, Honorable Speaker, was a big problem. But in this appropriations bill, we are appropriating a whopping 630-something billion shillings going to the education sector to ensure that CBC is not just something we are talking about, but something that we are actualizing and committing resources to. And it's not just the junior secondary school, even capitation of our day secondary schools and our boarding schools to ensure even our free primary education sector that resources are going to our schools, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there is also money that has been appropriated to the social services sector. And you have seen in the press recently, Honorable Speaker, as much as our media houses have a quarrel to pick with us, and therefore they will go to great lengths to demonize what is not being done or what is supposed to be done, and they will eloquently carry out investigative series on how many octogenarians have not received their cash transfer schemes, but I never see them cover when they are receiving this money. But I want to tell them today, we are appropriating adequate resources to ensure that our elderly and vulnerable in society, Honorable Speaker, are able to access their money, their cash transfer, including orphans and PWDs in our communities that access money from government. We have allocated inadequate resources within the social services sector, Honorable Speaker, to ensure that all these people are able to access their money.
Majority Leader. Yes, Honorable Jared.
I know what Jared wants to say.
Mr. Speaker, this new emerging character of disparaging the media that does nothing but to shine bright light in the dark corners of government, I think should stop, Honorable Speaker.
What is
We
your point
get
of order?
informed through the media, we get news through the media, and if somebody has a beef to pick with the media, they have professional bodies around the media houses.
What is
Honorable
the
Speaker.
point of order, Jared?
My point of order is to ask the majority leader, together with his surrogates, to stop disparaging the media, Honorable Speaker. The media plays an important role to this country and to the world at large, Honorable Speaker, and I thank you.
Ichungwa endelea.
Honorable Speaker, allow me to ignore what only warrants to be ignored. Honorable Speaker, in this appropriations bill, in conclusion, Honorable Speaker, we have allocated immense resources to our own pet subject of CDF. And I know, Honorable Speaker, CDF is misconstrued out there to be money that belongs to these members of parliament. But CDF is money that belongs to our voters, the people who have sent us to this house, Honorable Speaker. And the resources that have been devoted to CDF this financial year, Honorable Speaker, will not only go to supplement what has been devoted through the Ministry of Education, that 630 billion shillings going to the Ministry of Education, but also to supplement our bursary schemes, Honorable Speaker, in our constituencies, to ensure that the children who have been committed to schools, who are getting school capitation, that school capitation is not adequate and is not enough. Those children need school bursaries. Honorable Speaker, we are talking about digital hubs in our constituencies. I want to ask members of parliament, now that the government, and I am sure the ICT committee will be briefing members on this, is intent on establishing ICT innovation hubs in every ward in our constituencies, to at least in the next financial year, as we retreat for the short recess, which, Honorable Speaker, I know many of the members will retreat to do their proposals. As you engage with members of the public, it is good to inform members of the public that there are those innovation hubs in each of the wards, so that you also devote in your CDF proposals and budgets a bit of money for construction and equipping of those ICT hubs. Government has, through ICTA, the ICT authority, has adequate equipment in terms of the digital equipment, computers, and also ensuring that you have connectivity in those ICT hubs, so that we also help our children, our young men and women in our constituencies who have no jobs, to be trained under the Jitume program, to be able to access online jobs and be able to work from the ICT hubs, and also to work from home and access online jobs even outside the country, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, let me just conclude. I visited SOT Technical in Bomet County, and I don't know if the Member of Parliament is here for Bomet Central. And I was impressed, Honorable Speaker, with the kind of work where you find students, 21 to 24-year-olds, who are working online and earning their $20, $25 an hour, and they are working right from their own classroom in those ICT hubs. And therefore, even with the establishment of all our TVETs in the constituencies that have TVETs, those who are yet to start TVETs in their constituency, I also want to encourage you. And I have seen a number of members, I did here during contribution in the second reading of the budget and appropriations report, a number of members pointing out that they have no TVETs in their constituencies. Please, in your CDF allocations this year, allocate money, the 10 million shillings that is required from CDF, NGCDF, so that you get the counterpart funding from the Ministry of Education for those TVETs, and establish these ICT hubs, because they will go a long way into securing job opportunities for millions of our young people who are jobless, many who are well educated, many who are technically tech savvy, and would be able to access these online jobs, Honorable Speaker. And allow me to use this opportunity to inform the people, great people of Kikuyu, that indeed in the next few weeks, the ICT hub at Dogoto Chief's Camp, where I have fabricated a former chief's boardroom into such an ICT hub, Honorable Speaker, will be open. Kikuyu Town ICT hub will be open. Keno Village Polytechnic ICT hub will be open in the next few weeks, and so will be Nachu Technical TVET, Honorable Speaker. And the computers are already on the ground, Honorable Speaker. And as I encourage other members of Parliament to follow suit, because I want to lead by example, Honorable Speaker. That is why I'm speaking to these ICT hubs, because I appreciate that millions of our young people are jobless, and they can access jobs not just through the housing fund levy that we have set up to build houses, Honorable Speaker, that will create jobs, but we can also create jobs through online jobs where people will be able to work right from their homes. Honorable Speaker, with those very many remarks, allow me to support this appropriations bill and urge the House to support it. And hopefully, at the conclusion of this debate, as we get into the finance bill, we shall all rise to the occasion, because what we have appropriated in this appropriations bill is what we shall be financing in the finance bill. And I do hope even the myriad of amendments that I see on the order paper will be towards the goal of helping government realize higher revenues, so that we also don't get deeper into the pit of borrowing, Honorable Speaker. And with those many remarks, I beg to support.
Honorable members, allow me to invite the mover to reply. Is that the mood of the House? Ndendi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And I wish to thank every participant of the entire process since we started. This process did not just start on the estimates. We started the process of making the budget for 23-24 last year. We have held public participations. We have held sector working groups. And Honorable Speaker, every participant who has taken part, I really want to thank all of them. Just to recap in a minute, Honorable Speaker, and just to put the record straight, because I see so many figures flying around, the budget that we appropriated money for, and the budget at which, Honorable Speaker, we are debating this bill, is a budget of Kenya shillings, 3.679 trillion Kenya shillings. Honorable Speaker, out of that money, the only monies that you have allocated in terms of deficit, or the monies that you have allocated to spend, which, Honorable Speaker, we intend to borrow is only Kenya shillings 718 billion Kenya shillings. Honorable Speaker, this is a climb down from last financial year when we had a deficit of 860 billion on the books, but upon assuming the positions that we are in now, and after perusal of government books, we realized 200 billion had been spent at the 223, and therefore the entire deficit was actually 1.1 trillion Kenya shillings. Honorable Speaker, it is important to highlight that among the revenue side, we anticipate to collect Kenya shillings 2.57 trillion Kenya shillings. In terms of ordinary revenue, we anticipate to collect or to have or to receive 42 billion Kenya shillings in terms of grant. And on the other side, Honorable Speaker, of expenditure, and I'm just putting the record straight because it is our responsibility, Honorable Speaker, around 986 billion Kenya shillings is actually going to CFS, because we are very categorical about allocating enough resources to offset loans so that, Honorable Speaker, we do not continue on the whole of borrowing, but we actually bury the hole by allocating as much money as possible in terms of repayment of debts, and that is why in the kitty of CFS we allocated Kenya shillings 986 billion. Honorable Speaker, we have also increased the allocations to our counties. The equitable share we enhanced from 370 billion to 385 billion Kenya shillings. Honorable Speaker, I know there have been issues with the exchequer, but Honorable Speaker, this has been most because of the jittery markets we have, and especially across foreign markets, which we have not been able to realize the monies we had anticipated to borrow for the last financial year, and therefore, Honorable Speaker, we had to resort to domestic markets, where again we are paying a premium in terms of interest rates. So the issues that have been there in terms of exchequer, they need interventions, not policies, and we have been doing that. Honorable Speaker, as I wind up, just again to put the record straight, we allocated the entire allocation of 2.3 billion Kenya shillings for the national government. Honorable Speaker, 27.4% of that amount we allocated to education, out of which we have doubled allocation to health. We have also, Honorable Speaker, increased capitation for JSS by 10 billion Kenya shillings, Honorable Speaker. Something else I would want to highlight as I come to the close. All the members here who have constructed KMTCs through NGCDF, there are 21 of them that are not functional. We have allocated 1 billion Kenya shillings into KMTC to hire additional lecturers and staff. We have also allocated monies to operationalize all the 21, Honorable Speaker, KMTCs. There are 181 markets that were started by former President Mwai Kibaki through the ESP program. Honorable Speaker, we have allocated 3 billion Kenya shillings for all the entire 181 markets so that Kenyans can start realizing the utility of those markets. Honorable Speaker, just again for members to be...
Junet, order. What is the point of order, Junet?
Speaker, I wanted to bring to the attention of the Chair Budget Committee that, Mr. Speaker, doing the appropriation is one thing, but having the real money is another thing, Mr. Speaker. He has sold here a rosy, Mr. Speaker, a heavenly affair that we have given 1 billion to this man, 2 billion to that lady. But, Mr. Speaker, what is the level of absorption, Mr. Speaker? Will this money really come to the...
Kameme TV, Muthegi wa Ruriri.
Plus Learning Management System, an education management tool that fits in with the country's education system and allows schools and parents to monitor students' progress effectively. From tracking and reporting to providing resources, and effective learning tools, teachers and parents alike will be in the loop of each child's progress. With Mwalimu Plus, schools will not need to invest heavily in infrastructure. That's because the system offers the necessary tools, tablets and the software at a great cost to enable schools get off successfully. Things are changing, and the Mwalimu Plus learning management system is at the forefront of this change.
Murumo wa kigosho nĩ cama wa karingaringa ndarama ona ciegamba uka inyuothe tugoce Jehova thĩinĩ wa ũnene wake na ũthamaki wake. Nĩ o mũthenya wa gatano cianda thaa 4 cia ũtukũ nginyagia thaa 7 cia ũtukũ na kiumia cianda thaa 1 cia mĩaraho nginyagia thaa 9 cia hwaĩ-inĩ. Kũhĩtũkĩra Jesu, reke tũthiĩ na mbere kũnengera Jehova igongona rĩa kĩgoco. Gũkũ gwa Kameme TV, mũthegi wa rũrĩrĩ. Hihi wena kĩũria kana woni wĩgiĩ ũmemerekia wa Kameme TV? Ntũma kĩũria kana woni waku kũhĩtũkĩra SMS ya 21182, Facebook Kameme TV Kenya, Twitter @Kameme TV Kenya, kana wandike email info@mediamax.co.ke.
Education is changing for the better. Gone will be the days when teachers had to sift through books upon books of homework, when they walked around class just to ensure they connect with the students, when not coming to class meant missing lessons, or when they worked extra hours, usually late in the night, to ensure all students understood. Introducing the Mwalimu Plus Learning Management System, an education management tool that fits in with the country's education system and allows schools and parents to monitor students' progress effectively. From tracking and reporting to providing resources and effective learning tools, teachers and parents alike will be in the loop of each child's progress. With Mwalimu Plus, schools will not need to invest heavily in infrastructure. That's because the system offers the necessary tools, tablets and the software at a great cost to enable schools get off successfully. Things are changing, and the Mwalimu Plus learning management system is at the forefront of this change.
If I was a rich man.
Saturday, June 24th, experience an a cappella extravaganza courtesy of Watho Kibuga and her bandmates of Yale Wiffenpoof's a cappella. It's all going down at the Sarit Expo Center from 7 p.m. Tickets available on mukh.com and mtickets.com. VIP 3K, regular 1500 and student 1K. This is one for the ages.
We're a rich girl.
Ũtari wa mũciari nĩ ũrabatarania tabarĩra-inĩ ĩno. Kameme TV.
Wala watoto wake kuombaomba mikate barabarani. Mungu ni mwaminifu kwa ahadi zake wanadamu. Mungu ni mwaminifu kwa ahadi zake si kama wanadamu. Oh, akiongea Yesu ameongea. Akikuahidia kitu Baba ameahidi na ujasiria. Atatenda kwa wakati wake yoyo. Ninamuita Bwana wa amani, ninamuita mfalme wa amani Bwana. Ndio maana mimi ninaimba kwa sababu ya amani yake. Ni uwezo gani unaompinga Yesu? Uwezo gani?
Frank the DJ, moto zaidi ya pasi.
Uteithio wako wanumire korewe, gutira maitho makwa na iguru. Uteithio wako wanumire korewe, korewe, korewe. Uteithio wako wanumire korewe, korewe, korewe. Uteithio wako wanumire korewe. You will break the yoke of my burden and take it off my shoulder.
nataka nijulikane mie, nionge wanisikie, tushindane nishinde. Haikuwa na maana, na nilitaka niwe na sifa, muna simama, punde nikifika. Haikuwa na maana, na nilitaka niwe na dereva, mtu wa kunifuata, kubeba mkoba. Haikuwa na maana, joto ikizidi nipepetwe, nikijamu nichekeshwe, mambo haya yote. Haikuwa na maana, mtu wa maana, mtu wa maana ni Yesu, ni Yesu ndiye mtu wa maana. Na kitu cha maana, kitu cha maana kumpenda Yesu, ni Yesu ndiye mtu wa maana.
This is from the DJ. Moto zaidi ya pasi. Moto zaidi ya umeme.
Nilipata rafiki adui, nikiwa nazo wazuri, nikikosa hawanitambui. Hawakuwa wa maana. Nilitaka msichana yellow, kupandisha ego, sikutaka wedo. Haikuwa na maana. Nilipata rafiki nikiwa nazo wazuri, nikikosa hawanitambui. Hawakuwa na maana. Nilitaka msichana yellow, kupandisha ego, sikutaka wedo. Haikuwa na maana. Mtu wa maana, mtu wa maana ni Yesu, ni Yesu ndiye mtu wa maana. Na kitu cha maana, kitu cha maana kumpenda Yesu, ni Yesu ndiye mtu wa maana. Mtu wa maana, mtu wa maana ni Yesu, ni Yesu ndiye mtu wa maana. Na kitu cha maana, kitu cha maana kumpenda Yesu, ni Yesu ndiye mtu wa maana.
Jakimi, nipe pambio. Bits and blessings. Loud and clear entertainment. Listen. Yote ni bure.
This from the DJ. Moto zaidi ya pasi. Moto zaidi ya umeme.
Namuona na gari kubwa kuliko shida zake, namuona na wanawake. Alisema kuna Mungu, watu wajipange, anadhani ni nguvu zake. Akigonjeka daktari anatoka ng'ambo, akiboeka hapo utaona mambo. Maombi kwake ni kelele, ndio nimeona nikueleze. Oh, hashtag Nebukadneza, Sauli pia atakueleza. Nasema hashtag Nebukadneza, haijalishi yale umeweza, yote ni vanity. Vanity. Bila Yesu ni vanity. Yote ni vanity. Vanity. Bila Yesu ni vanity.
Sasa simpo kwema kwa hisingo na tema, kila jimbo na penya na humtindo ndo kusema Mungu ananipeleka narada, na msifu wazisi kwa faraga. Mungu ananipeleka narada, na msifu wazisi kwa faraga. Unanijali, sa kwa nini nisideki? Chali, sina wasiweni. Nasema woi, mapepo yanakimbia, yakimwona Yesu yanakimbia. Woi, mapepo yanakimbia, yakimwona Yesu yanakimbia. Mapepo yanakimbia, yakimwona Yesu yanakimbia. Woi, mapepo yanakimbia, yakimwona Yesu yanakimbia. Huduma kalongolongo, wasanii wote kuiga bongo, hizo stories za uongo, nia yao ni hizo stories za uongo.
Kameme TV. Kameme TV. Kameme TV. Kameme TV.
Kila kitu sasa iko bila Yesu wakwisha. Bila Yesu wakwisha.
This is Frank the DJ. Moto zaidi ya pasi. Moto zaidi ya umeme. Kameme TV.
Hakuna kitu anaweza kosa. Kila kitu sasa iko bila Yesu wakwisha. Bila Yesu wakwisha. Bila Yesu wakwisha. Bila Yesu wakwisha.
Nije graba daba alafu cheza doba ikibamba sana unapolo mara 7.
Wewe bila Yesu wewe nini shiko day? Wewe bila Yesu wewe ni nini?
Ni Fool's Day.
Hapana.
Wewe puliza.
Eh?
Ni puliza ama ni?
Wapi uko?
Wanasema aje?
Bila Yesu wewe kuisha.
Oh, wewe kuisha?
Huko unasema nini?
Ni alama inagaribo. Roho rio ninacho.
Wewe ni mtu wa Muranga. Wewe ni mtu wa Muranga. Wewe ni mmoja wa Muranga.
Bila Yesu wewe fuliza.
Bila Yesu wewe kuisha.
Si fuliza?
Asha ni wewe kuisha.
Oh, bila Yesu wewe kuisha. Bila Yesu wewe kuisha. Bila Yesu wewe kuisha. Unatoa ngoma lini?
Nani? Unataka collab?
Dakiwa no ine.
I am expensive.
Na mmetoka wapi leo mwezi March?
Wewe nafanaje ro?
You know she's my calcium. Gede baba Eric.
And this is my Ndoro.
Yeah, my calcium mazee looking awesome.
Yeah. Ndoro. Ntoko mwera, we will let you know today.
Ndereti, don't tell them.
Tuswami.
Ndereti na baba Eric na mama Eric.
Na Eric. Koko wewe Ndoro. Wewe Ndoro.
Sawa my calcium. Bila Yesu wewe kuisha.
Bwana asifiwe.
Amen church.
Bwana asifiwe tena.
Amen.
Praise God.
Amen.
Yes, tuveni wakati da wa
Reremboka.
Yes. Metabo tiegene ya Kameme TV muthegi wa rurire weko na Ngai akoragwo kila mahali wherever you are. God is
omnipresent,
omniscient,
omniscient. He's there.
Omniscient, omnipresent.
You don't trust me.
Omnipotent.
I'm so good in theory.
God is
omniscient, omnipresent.
And omni.
Eh?
Where about Kirejega? Omni?
Eh? Omniscient.
Sini
tatu Frank. Sasa tumesema.
Omnipresent.
Omnipresent.
Omnipotent.
Omniscient.
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 Yes.
Oh, omniscient.
Yes, yari dare tiki.
Sawa.
Omole nini chairman.
Omniscient,
omnipresent,
and omnipotent.
Kabisa mazee.
Yes, na tena ino yakanitha wa remboka. Manze leo ni worship, ni praise kwira Ngai niagereire today, tomorrow and every other day. Kama una wacha nikwambie.
Mazee waambie.
You are blessed.
Akia nani?
Kwena mundu ukomete handu uguo heho-ini na wewe hauwe moyo ukacokeria Ngai ngatho whether wena irio kana nduri whether wena stress kana nduri yani penye huko whatever you're going through ukaririkana the fact that you opened your eyes today you still stand a chance mutorere waku ucenjie na urathimwo
kabisa mazejo.
That is the kind of mindset you should have every single day of your life,
each and every day in your life.
Yes.
Natokera kamjesh mazejo niki mundu MC wa mogithi niki guys umote ni kanitha kabisa mazejo wamewasema each and every single keja biashara zote county muthuri mupio kana soso unapenda shughuli mazee karibuni kwa kanisa ni madha merema ya Father Francis Wanjikolicious Day na Father Kamaster Day na pia mazee kumbuka kuna segment ya hashtag kroko adhimaga na pia segment ya besha kwa jeshi ya kuza bizde ni kunde Joso Tuesday yako na ni very simple shiko day make it mama Saturday
okwa ya thimo yaku othimo na wa M-Pesa pay bill number ogwekira 919155 account wadike demo yake habesha orekira 99 bob turakunegera $200 o hariore. It does not matter which county you are in, tuna besha ciaku haha pay bill number 919155 account demo yake habesha wekire 99 bob wetarere o wena mwihoko $200 just like that zinaweza ingia kwa simu yako anytime from now na tukakurikania the more you play the more your
chances of winning.
Yes.
Kabisa mazejo
Yeah.
na pia mazejo tuingie mazee madukani mazee pia kumbuka mazee tuko na ngoma tatu hashtag kroko adhimaga nimechagua moja chukua machagua moja ndake waneke the devil is choking me but I have Christ in my life. Rishwa Satan.
Yes.
Ngoma tatu mazee hashtag kroko adhimaga. Ngoma ya kwanza mazee selection ya Father Francis ni selection yako ngoma ya kwanza mazee selection ya Reverend Kamaster Moigua Pastor John Wairimo. Namba 2 Murutani wa the selection ya Chieledo Wanjikolicious Day. Namba 3 Father Francis, Mr. Germany, Mr. Dubai, Mr. International Kiradhimo Samirongo. Kameme TV Kenya wachiko wake nodhia pejini ya Frank the DJ pejini ya Moch ni gani na kubariki zaidi bonga na kikosi na before tumalo show tuta make sure tumeguza hizi ngoma zitakuwa zimekula siku na calcium unaiga wapi na mama gaithia
dina magaithia
dokema gaithia utagira dukaini
haya jataka watiko wake nodhia Golden Pineapples leo ni siku ya kanisa kwa leo tu it's very simple and very clear jataka the chair lady wa kanitha totogana vestry na muhothi umothe mutiraruta
asha
wikare moyo gwa
kabisa mazee John na Reverend Kamaster mujesha guthie matuine gamudu wa mathagu Facebook ni Moch, Instagram ni Moch_254 karibuni kwa kanisa
Lego
muthuri wa
Drama
magaithia Father Francis
Ithekai orege Ithekai
Hello
mwanake wa Nairobi ndi muhono kwenda I love Jesus Christ
Amen
tuthie breaking
press play
Kameme TV.
Cheza kama wewe na cheza sita. Wehotanira ginyagia maita 5,000 ma beti yaku teke teke. Yes, ni huthu. Hihinya star 675#. Uthake na namba 6 cia munyaka. Kume mwe ginya 6. Ikira muigano wa beti yaku kuma 50 tu wehotanira ginyagia maita 5,000 hau. Cheza kama wewe na cheza sita. Wigire mweke muhari miekene ya gutuika muhotani. Hihinya star 675#. Uthake o riu. Mundu takinyetie miaka 18 ndagathake. Thaka na uigirereki. Itangatho riri nirihitukie ni BCLB.
Family ni kujengana, muturire ni gutwarana hamwe, gukura hamwe na guteithania, kwihokana na iroto citu na kwaga gukua ngoro o mundu na uria ungi. Family ni kurugama na uria ungi nginya mwisho. Nikio twi haha guguteithia gukuria biashara yaku na njira ya gukuhe loan, mieke ya kuonjorithia, kuhuthia utungata wa bengi, guguthondekera mieke ya gucemania na onjoria angi na mangi maingi. Shera ruhonge-ini rumwe rwa honge 93 cia Family Bank. Family Bank iri rungu rwa Central Bank of Kenya.
Twina ndumiriri njega kuri we muroreri wa Kameme TV. Riu no amukire umemerekia mukinyaneru wa imwe kwa imwe wa Kameme TV kuhitukira mutambo wa pan
na mambo itakuwa namna hiyo.
Niguo gukenera mwago uyu urafatira guskani TV yaku. Uthie na mbere gukenera mwago mukinyaneru kuma ceceni-ini ya Kameme TV.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Kameme TV, muthegi wa ruriri. Murumo wa kigosho ni cama wa karingaringa, ndarama ona ciegamba. Uka inyuothe tugoce Jehova thiini wa unene wake na uthamaki wake. Ni o muthenya wa gatano cianda thaa 4 cia utuku nginyagia thaa 7 cia utuku, na kiumia cianda thaa 1 cia miaraho nginyagia thaa 9 cia hwaini. Kuhitukira Jesu, reke tuthie na mbere kunengera Jehova igongona ria kigosho. Guku gwa Kameme TV, muthegi wa ruriri.
Kameme TV.
Jera
roko ikaine musa newe watwiraga igegori umerenge wamugokora rithoka mukorare yake mundu ari hawo uru wake na uru nekio kuoya mweke ukogoshe na meomo ya moyo ukogoshe we murutani wana na kionereria geacio ukogosha ngai nekoitagetera.
This is from the DJ Moto zaidi ya pasi, moto zaidi ya umeme. Kameme TV, Kameme TV.
Mwalimu watha kionereria geacio urutani waku igĩũringithania mũndũ ende mũndũ ũcio ũngĩ ũrĩa weyendete no gĩcoko kiuga wendani nĩ ũrĩ tha nĩkĩo kuoya mweke ũyũ ũkũgoce na mĩhũmũ ya moyo ũkũgoce we mũrutani watha na kĩonereria gĩacio ũkũgoca ngai mũrutani watha
Moyo nĩ ũira wakwa mũndũ ntarĩ na kene mũndũ ntarĩ na riringa yake njiguĩra ndarigicĩtwo nĩ ngoma mĩnyororo ya gĩkuũ nacio nĩtigĩandeithirie ciaga ingĩnjohora thikĩrĩria ũira wakwa mũndũ ntarĩ na kene niĩ itarĩ na riringa yake njiguĩra ndarigicĩtwo nĩ ngoma mĩnyororo ya gĩkuũ nacio nĩtigĩandeithirie ciaga ingĩnjohora
Tiatidari mwena, tiare mudo mwena, nikai wati wirire thagĩtũnde kangĩagĩra. Tiatidari mwena, tiare mudo mwena, nikai wati wirire thagĩtũnde kangĩagĩra.
Kameme
Mũreroni aciariega kuonio makinya mega ona ndatwarwo kanitha ndoimaga ngathiĩ kwĩhia gũcama ngai gwĩcama ũmũthĩ ũyũ ngĩnjũria ona tarĩ kwĩrĩrwo muoyo nĩ kaba kwa ngai ngererwo nĩ aciariega kĩonio makinya mega ona ndatwarwo kanitha ndoimaga ngathiĩ kwĩhia gũcama ngai gwĩcama ũmũthĩ ũyũ ngĩnjũria ona tarĩ kwĩrĩrwo muoyo nĩ kaba kwa ngai
Tiatidari mwena, tiare mudo mwena, nikai wati wirire thagĩtũnde kangĩagĩra. Tiatidari mwena, tiare mudo mwena, nikai wati wirire thagĩtũnde kangĩagĩra.
Kameme TV.
Wasia kudondoa kama Ayubu wa Uzi kwa waloti wa doa.
Umeshakatwa mizizi isikilala dongoni ipo tumaini kwa mti ulokatwa kwa maana ukikatwa utachipuka tena. kama wa halwa. Haya, haujaupika maua. Haya, hatua kwa hatua. Shetani hata kuzingua.
Halo, halo. Halo, halo.
Wambaje.
Si atuambi leo.
Si tuko kosi.
Yesu alishaambo. Kwa nini ambo tena?
Wewe unaambaga lini? Unaambaga lini?
Halo, halo.
Wewe ni mwambaji?
Dodo la hasha.
Wewe ni munini?
Kuangalia kivi. Kupanda ngoma si ngoma,
wewe ni
kiambaji.
Da jamani.
Halo, halo.
Halo, halo.
Watu pale hivyo la Costa, pale hivyo Kisauni, pale hivyo Shanzu. Pale tutokea pale hivyo Miritini, pale msalimike sana Dodo, pale Diani.
Jamani.
Nasikia kuna ka street kanaitwa ni Pakani ama kanaitwa nini?
Niulize mimi nimeishi pale hivyo Mombasa, niulize.
Kanaitwa Pakani ama kanaitwa nini? Kako na paka mingi I guess.
Kaitwa Manyau.
Kuna paka pale, kuna nyau.
Kaitwa Manyau.
Manyau.
Ingoma ya kinyau kaandikiwa pale.
Huyu na DJ Zuni wanapenda nyau.
Dodo asha hapana.
Mkaenda huko.
Hatupendi manyau.
Wasema mnapaka
sipendi nyau.
Haupendi?
Mimi sipendi nyau.
Unless umechange.
Mimi nikachange.
Huwezi change like.
Nikapata calcium nika maintain.
Niko na uncle yangu mwingine. Si yanko dadi moni.
Haigate yanko moni.
Ikara coast.
La Coasteng.
Na reure todo accent yake koyore. Bado ako huko unasikia jega nilikuwa nakuambia.
Umekataria bara.
Ati umekataria siku moja unafaa unitembere bara. Diko mambo hata but dadi unajijua.
Make it till you.
Anakuwa korosho. Kuja ule korocho.
Kuja ule korocho.
Kuna korocho Frankie.
Nene by the accent yake koyo. Nedi to kuma by the.
Ukienda kwa hoteli kuna wasafiri. Mama sema manataka pilau na nini?
Mama sema manataka pilau pamoja na marege.
Hata si pilau, mchele. Sisi si wasema mchele, hatusemi pilau. Kumbe mchele ni yenye haijaiva jamani.
Hiyo ni flavor ya pale Bola Coasteng. Tunataka na mwelekezi wangu mjeshi wa Mogithi, mpige simu mtuambie. Katizi ngoma 3 gani ya kubariki zaidi? Ngoma 3 twende Eriko, naambia Mbogi Jolion Tuesday.
Mwambie.
Leo ni